1 month ago today, April 2nd, 2025, Nintendo announced the Switch 2 and with that signed the death warrant of the AAA gaming space. Now, we have had expensive consoles before. Nintendo isn't necessarily immune from this phenomenon, but it was normally something that their competitors had to overcome. But this is the first time I can personally remember, because I don't remember the launch price for the GameCube, and the Wii U really wasn't that much more expensive, especially for what they were offering upon release. But this is the first time around that they've been in the chamber on this discussion, and to be completely honest, man, 450 USD, that's not that bad, okay? Like, it's been a lot more egregious. The PS3, the Xbox One, or recently the PS5 Pro, the thing that nobody bought, those were far more egregious examples, okay? So no, most of the discussion, if we're going to keep it a buck, wasn't really about the price of the console, okay? Whether you got the bundle or if you just got the straight console. No, most of the people were upset about the price of the accessories, and they were also upset about the pricing of the games, because we all knew where this was going, okay? Oh, Mario Kart World being $80, what are you, poor? You're gonna get so much use out of this. What would you rather do? Would you rather get an annual version of Mario Kart and spend $70 a year? Oh, look at how a Call of Duty, just all of your different ad hominem and whataboutist arguments that you could make. No, the more in tune people went, yeah, no, the moment that Nintendo kicks open the doors, the only reason that they're catching so much shit right now is because they're the first ones to do it, and we all seen where this is going, okay? And that's why so many people, at least the people not pushing it for, self-serving reasons, because, yeah, okay, if you were excited about the Switch 2, you really wanted to get it, you really wanted Mario Kart, and you were asking Nintendo, okay, you were demanding, you were in the chat saying drop the price, but if you folded like a cheap Sears suit in the first time that all of the pre-orders went live, you didn't care that they bumped up the price on all the accessories. You didn't care ultimately, because Mario Kart, it's really $50 if you just buy the bundle, okay? Like, it's totally fine, like, that's fine. You can just go ahead and rationalize all that stuff or stuff away, but $70 for a Donkey Kong game that is ultimately going to be a forgotten release months from now. And then what else is on the docket? Oh, okay, eventually you'll get some FromSoft PvE watered down Dark Souls spin-off. You can get a prettier version of Metroid Prime, maybe. Oh, cool. If you didn't cash in on the nickel and diming that was the Breath of the Wild DLC, don't worry, guys. We got you covered. If you want to play it on the Switch 2, it'll potentially perform better. Oh, yeah, don't worry. Okay, you can buy it. You can buy it for $80 when you get that upgrade. It'll be fantastic, right? Nintendo's got your back. They're the last great company out there, guys, that are just making great games. Yeah, you go ahead and lap the ass of Nintendo, because exactly what everybody thought was going to happen just happened. Microsoft raises the price of all Xbox Series consoles. Xbox games confirmed to hit $80 this holiday. Yeah, no, exactly. But this one really does make sense. Okay, because Nintendo opened the floodgates and we don't know hide nor hair. And we're here, I'm hearing a few different rumbles when it comes to GTA 6, thinking that, we don't really need to drop another trailer, because when GTA 6, just like the Switch 2 drops, it is going to sell out instantly. Now, it's a digital game, obviously, like, it's just going to go ahead, and it doesn't matter if it's 120, 150, 200 gigabytes, it's still going to sell. It's going to be the biggest entertainment launch of all time. It's going to make billions of dollars on day one. Within the first week, it is going to be a record-shattering success. Just like the launch of the Switch 2. It might end up being the biggest launch of all time, the biggest launch window, the biggest launch week, the biggest launch month. But what about the aftermath? What about the landscape after Nintendo secures the bag? What happens with Microsoft here being the first major studio to announce that, we're just going to do $80 now. That's the new standard moving forward. What we're doing for this holiday is going to be $80, which is right now creating this artificial scarcity. It's creating FOMO. Hey, if you had your eye on Doom not Doom Eternal rather, but if you had your eye on Doom the Dark Ages, you better get it right now before we, just artificially hike the prices by $10. It's not like we're going to give you any more value for it. It's just, once again, we're gonna raise the prices because people think, Nintendo simps that are out there think that they're gonna get a good value for Mario Kart World, that they're gonna be playing it for years, and the DLC could be included. Still haven't heard hide nor hair about that, but yeah, you go ahead and rationalize that. Meanwhile, Xbox is gonna be selling their games at $80. But you know why Microsoft was the first company to make this decision? Well, mostly because the Xbox Series S rather, is very likely to be the last generation that Xbox is in the hardware market. So yeah, them making this decision, I don't know, ends up solidifying that decision or maybe making it more obvious for people. But let's check out the story. Microsoft is raising its prices on Xbox. In an announcement today, the company said it will be raising the price on Xbox consoles, controllers, headsets, and some games. Oh right, yeah, they're raising the prices on everything. And well, Nintendo, right, when they first announced, and then they eventually came back and covered all that stuff. You can go check out the video if you're so inclined to get into the details on it. But yeah, the console itself, the 450 for the standalone or the 500 for the Mario Kart bundle, that didn't end up changing, but everything else did. Pro controller went up, that goofy ass camera went up, where you can go ahead and you can have some kind of a Discord knockoff that'll run at like 15 frames per second. You'd be better off mailing pictures to your friends if you want to have that kind of video quality. Holy Christ, just remember what they showed you for that April 2nd live stream and just think what it's going to run like in practice, because that's the best. That's the most doctored footage they could show you. And yeah, it made the battle sequences in Final Fantasy VII, back on the PS1, look fantastic. But I digress. They were using terminology to justify all of their accessories being lifted up. Oh, it's due to hard economic times, which is exactly what Xbox is saying right here. So that is code for, we see what Nintendo did, and we understood that, we could go ahead and because, we make pretty good controllers. We have pretty good accessories. It's been a minute since I've had an Xbox headset, but even back in the 360 days, like even the wireless one that would sit on your ear, that was a good piece of tech. And their controllers, man, on PC prior to, I really like the DualSense controller, that's what I use on the PC now, but forever, and I still have it hooked up, and I'm just pointing down to it. It's right close to my tower and all that stuff, but the Elite controller, that's an absolute banger, man. I highly recommend that controller, just not after this price hike. The price hike for consoles and accessories kicks in today, May 1st, and while game prices will stay the same for now, we should expect to see Xbox charging $80 for new first-party games around the holiday season. Price increases are taking effect globally, with the exception of headset prices, which are only going up in the United States and Canada. Fucking why? That makes zero sense, but yeah, taking a look at this, man. Your half a terabyte Series S, the fully digital console, going up to $380. Getting an $80 price increase for what? And then the 1 terabyte, going up from going up from $350 to $425. The Series X all digital, $550. Oh my God, that's going to $600. That's going up $100 for what? And then the 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition, I don't know, is that their upgraded one? I've been so out of the loop. That's going up $130. What the fuck are we doing? Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2, the full, oh my God, yeah, well, that's only going up $20, but still, the fact that it's just, universal pricing is just getting brought up across the board. Thanks, Nintendo. Good thing you have the gamers' value at heart, right? But Microsoft issued IGN the following statement as to why the price increases were taking place. We understand that these changes are challenging, and they were made with a careful consideration given market conditions and rising costs of development. What are you talking about? Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen and ensuring value for Xbox players. You don't even really need to read between the lines on this one to come to the conclusion that, Xbox, they just, the way that they're going to shill this whole price increase on their first party titles is just join Game Pass. We understand that, like, new signups are floundering and we pretty much stagnated when it comes to subscribers overall. So artificially raise the price of just buying your games, and then just as Ubisoft said, to kick off 2024, gamers need to be comfortable in not ozning their games. This is what Microsoft is doing, okay? They're using the motivation that Nintendo just provided by just price gouging out the wazoo, and they're using it to push people onto their subscription service. And hey, why not just juke them for a whole bunch of extra cash on some accessories that really aren't moving? Because if we're going to be completely honest, man, like PC players, if you're not using keyboard mouse, like if you're playing a platformer or something like that, a lot of people are still using Xbox 360 controllers. People are just using whatever they have kicking around because you can just use it all on your PC ports. And to make this 100% clear, we got a GameStop announcement. Okay, as of May 1st, we have adjusted recommended retailer pricing for our consoles and controllers worldwide. We also expect to adjust the pricing of some of our new first-party games starting holiday season to $80. We understand that these changes are more challenging, blah blah blah, the rest of the stuff that's right there. So this is going to be going into effect at a time when there's so much individual economic uncertainty, and I'm sure there are going to be some smooth brains, the ones that are left in games journalism. More on that tomorrow. Hilarious development that's there, but that just also signals what's going on in gaming in general, as the biggest hits this year, kind of like they were last year, are coming from the AA and indie space. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, continuing to just kick the shit out of everything, and it's, what, $50? I know it's like 60 strange bucks in Canadian funny money, which is being devalued as we further go on. More on that situation tomorrow as well. But I said at the beginning, Nintendo signed the death warrant for the AAA industry. And by raising the prices of all this stuff, pricing people out of the business. I talked about this before, man. If you were likely to just take a flyer like I did back in the 7th generation Xbox 360, PS3, I think that's 7th generation, could be 8th generation, but whatever, man. Back in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, late 2000s, like, you know what, hey, if I seen a game and it was, if it was on sale or even if it was full price and I was interested in it, it's like, if I didn't like it, well, that sucks. It was only 50, 60 bucks at the time, and especially if it was on sale, $40, because regularly you'd be having games after they were released, like 3 or 4 months later, they'd drop down 20 bucks, and hey, man, if you liked what you seen a couple of reviews out there and you thought, it's worth the time, you just go ahead and take a flyer on that. But now you're coming out with games that are $80, man. And then up here in Canada, like we seen the conversion rate from Mario Kart, 120 bucks. I'm not taking a flyer on anything that I'm not certain of, okay? There's one game that's coming out in the future that I am looking forward to and that I will be buying, okay? The third part to the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, okay? Like, that's about it. But outside of that, unless I'm certain I'm going to enjoy something, I'm never buying anything on release. And even if it does go on sale, what does it end up dropping down to? What's that $20 you get knocked off? Oh, great. In Canada, it's still $100. Okay? You're still dealing, with $60, $70, and that's on sale. You've crippled the AAA market. You guys have done this to yourself. Standardized pricing is an absolute joke. You priced you priced yourself out of innovation by putting hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on development. Assassin's Creed Shadows could have done something experimental. They could have, you could have made a samurai game work, covered under the umbrella of an Assassin's Creed IP. Okay, there was a way that you could do that, but taking those experimental steps and making those baffling decisions that you did in regards to that game, the game was never going to succeed because you had already pissed off way too many people and you were never going to recoup that nearly $300 million budget. As it was reported, somewhere between 250 and 350. We'll just, cut it down the middle and say $3 billion. You were never, ever going to break even, especially at a time when that studio needed a runaway smash hit, something that sold as well as Valhalla, and it didn't hit those numbers. What was that about? The 3 million players? Great. Yeah, Claire Obscura, 33 former Ubisoft devs rather. I'm sure one of those chicks is maybe named Deb, who knows? But they made something that sold 1 million copies in 3 days. 3 really is their lucky number over there. Meanwhile, you had 3 million players in a little over a week. I still haven't heard hide nor hair about your update on players, of course. Sure, Tencent is really excited about that, but No, man, you created a place where you've just priced out the people that were already on the periphery, already iffy about the price increases. Because, yeah, when things started to go up to $70, I was already looking at that going, I'll be good. I'll be good. Like, it's been a long time. Like I said, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I think that's about it when it comes to games that came out at that $70 price tag that I would have taken a flyer on, which up here in Canada was already $90. But you go ahead and you just be all stupid like this. Yeah, for the people that are still interested, they're going to get pushed off to Game Pass. You just get somebody to sign up for another subscription service. I understand why Microsoft did that. So, of course, everybody's looking over at Sony, and what the hell are you guys going to do? Now, Sony, in a management position, we talked about this recently as well, okay, they're going through a bit of a shift where they're looking a lot more a Japanese focus. They are trying to get back to their roots, and whenever we see something stupid like that, you already know that a spin is being concocted. But the smartest thing that they can do, I think, is the most obvious one, by going, yeah, the rest of the industry is doing stuff, but we're just going to be over here. Hey man, we got the most consoles in circulation right now, okay, at least for this generation. Hey, $70, yeah, we're kind of fine with that right now, okay? Get excited about the games that we have right now, and that will, by simply doing nothing, you will ingratiate yourself to a public that was already on the edge when it comes to your lack of games for your system. That will get people on your side. That would be the smart thing to do. But of course, we're opining about a AAA industry that thinks $80 is somehow going to bolster them into the future. Good fucking luck. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.